Welcome to the Ithaca Men's Lacrosse Pregame. I'm Noah Abraham here with Farrell Hutzel. It's a real rainy day. Farrell, how are we feeling?
Feeling pretty good, Noah. I hope the Ithaca Bombers are feeling that too, because currently on a 2-game losing streak. They started the season off so promising, but now have fallen into a slight bit of a rut. But third time's not going to be the charm in terms of losses for them today, they hope.
Yeah, speaking of this losing streak, how do you think the Bombers can bounce back after last week's loss to RPI?
Well, certainly it's going to have to come in terms of fundamentals in lacrosse. The fundamental battles are so imperative for Ithaca to keep an eye on. It goes without being said, but a clear case of needing to take advantage of man advantages, face-offs, and ground ball opportunities. You go back to their last 2 losses. The Bombers lost against Hamilton being 10 days ago. It wasn't just the 3 unanswered goals by Hamilton, and then Ithaca beginning the fourth quarter a man down due to a late flag in the third, but looking at team success rates, Hamilton had the edge 12-8 in face-offs. Ground ball opportunities were eerily similar, but then you look at the loss against number 4 ranked RPI on the road, which was so close for the Bombers considering a couple of factors. They were outshot by 9. Ithaca won the turnover battle, but in terms of caused turnovers, face-offs won, and ground balls, RPI had that significant advantage when Ithaca was playing at their best a couple weeks ago in that victory on home turf over Vassar, which was a nice bounce-back game from their loss to them last year. They were doing all the little things right. Not only did they get out to a 7-0 lead, but they were winning the ground ball advantages, the man-up opportunities, and the face-offs. I look for that to be the factor today.
Yeah, and I think you can look at last game a little bit as a positive because you only lost by 2 to, like you said, one of the top-ranked teams in the whole country. It could be a bit of a confidence booster, and you saw sophomore standout Easton Morris. They held him to 0 goals. He's been lighting it up for RPI all season long. But now still focusing on the Ithaca side, who would you say is your X-factor for today's game for Ithaca?
Well, so far this year for Ithaca, it's been Lucas Proctor, undoubtedly. He's leading the team in goals right now with 18. He's third in assists with 12. Overall, leads the team in points with 30. He's been that guy. It's been impressive to watch how he's taken that step this year. Played in only a couple games last year. He's got the mentorship of his older brother, Kyle. That's something really special about this team is when you have your older brother as a senior who's been through it for 3 years, played at a very good high school program down in Briarcliff in New York State, and then have come up to Ithaca and really made an impact on the program. Proctor, if he's making these strides already, strides that even Kyle wasn't at this level to begin his sophomore year. Lucas Proctor has a real promising future for the upcoming, just this year and then the next 2 years after this on the South Hill.
Yeah, I absolutely love that pick. The Proctor brothers are combined 59 points on the season. They have been dominating. I'm going to go a little bit down the roster, though. My X-factor for today is Jack Pastoria. He's had 4 2+ goal games, but then he's also had 4 0-goal games. So we're not sure which player we're exactly getting. So if he's able to be a reliable goal scorer for the Bombers outside their top players, because they're always going to have the 2 Kyles and the Proctor brothers. If they're able to get some production from outside those top 4, they're going to be a very scary team coming into today's game. But then coming off this 2-game losing streak for Union, what do you think we can expect from Union today?
Well, for Union, it's been a little bit of a mixed bag, as you alluded to there, Noah. 3-6 overall, 1-1 in conference play. If you look at a lot of the battles between Union and Ithaca, they're so eerily similar in multiple facets. Ithaca being 4th in goals per game, Union a little behind them in 7th. Every metric, it seems that Ithaca is leading the category slightly. This is a game that would be the perfect epitome of a trap game. You're finally home after not playing here for 10 days. You're going up against an opponent that you feel you can beat, and this is the exact game that you don't want to give up. You've had strong momentum rolling offensively. You've gotten contributions across the board, as we alluded to. So many names you could mention that have been so integral for the Bombers early on this season, but Andrew Menard in net, he has to be on his game today because you look at the depth of Union in terms of scoring, it's really, really strong. They have 8 players with at least a point per game or more this year. Walter Popko at the top, their leading scorer with 24, Peter Kipp with 22 points. That dynamic duo right there can cause problems for Ithaca in their own defensive zone. Ithaca has to hug the time of possession in their best wins of the year. You look at the 19-goal victory against Brockport 2.5 weeks ago. They battled and won the time of possession in that first half. Same thing with the Vassar game, although they allowed Vassar to creep back in that first half. It was about getting out to those early dominating leads. That's what Ithaca has to do today to keep that potent offense off their toes for Union.
Yeah, it's going to be a very high-scoring game. They've only held their opponents to under 10 points once, and then they've only scored under 10 goals once, so they're going to be scoring the lights out, and then they're actually better on the road than they are at home. 0-4 at home and 3-2 on the road. This is going to be a very challenging game for Ithaca. It's going to be very high scoring on both ends. But now, staying on the Union side, who do you expect to have a big game for Union today?
Well, for Union, you're going to look at a lot of different contributors, as I alluded to, but at the top, you got to look at Walter Popko. When you have a guy who's scored 24 goals this year, that's elite scoring prowess. That's similar to what the Bombers have with the Proctor brothers at the top, but just add on 6 more goals. Think about the ridiculous contribution you've been getting from Ithaca, and then you add on that you have a 24-goal scorer near the tops of the Liberty League. That's going to be so important for the Bombers to recognize that and stop it today. Sometimes it's tougher to stop that one player than it is a full team when you're prepared, knowing that they're rolling 8 or 9 guys deep, but even Union does have a team that can roll that deep. So Ithaca is going to be faced with one of their tougher offensive challenges today in terms of an opponent in the Union Garnet Chargers.
Yeah, I mean, Peter Kipp has been absolutely ridiculous this season. He's not only their top goal scorer for the Garnet Chargers, but he's their best playmaker, leading them in assists. I think when you have that playmaker on your team that is a dual threat, scoring and assisting, it can be very scary. But before we move on, do you have a score prediction for today, Farrell?
It's so tough to predict score, right? In lacrosse especially, it's so back and forth. But I'm going to go out at least and say on a limb in the first half, I think Ithaca comes out strong. They score about 7 or 8 goals. I don't think this is a game that Tommy Pierce is going to allow the Bombers to show up not prepared, not ready for. We got an early 12 p.m. start time on a Saturday. You're going up against an opponent that you should be able to take care of. This is a very tough conference. The teams in which are towards the bottom, you have to dominate. I expect Ithaca to come out victorious today. I'm going to go 14-10.
Yeah, I actually had a similar one. I'm going with the Bombers 17-14. There's no way none of these teams are staying above double-digit goals. But like we touched on before, Union, very high-scoring team. How do you think Andrew Menard will do against them?
I think Andrew Menard's just got to keep doing what he's been doing, because if you look at Ithaca this year, as I mentioned, they have had a lot of opportunities in terms of penalty kill percentage, Ithaca being second. Union is last in the conference there, so if the Bombers are on offense, they have to dominate. I know I'm getting on a little bit of a limb away from Andrew Menard, but he's been that guy this year. He's been one of the best goaltenders in the entire Liberty League, and he's got to just keep on stepping up and do what he's been doing, limit the high danger scoring chances, play to his around 6 goals against average. He's been really strong.
Yeah, and he's got a .572 save percentage. He's been dominant through the season. One of the reasons why the Bombers have had such an up season since last year, going 1-6 in conference. How do you think going into this season, what their mentality was after such a rough season last year?
Well, I mean, the mentality always has to be a championship level mentality, and you look at the way they got started. I mean, they were undefeated on home turf for the better part of 2.5 weeks before that loss came to Hamilton. It's clear that this is an improved roster from last year. They had to build from the ground up. They only won 1 game across conference play last year, around an 8-8 record. They weren't satisfied. They had a lot of seniors and returning players this year. For Ithaca right now, the mentality seems to be incredibly strong as we head towards face-off.
Yeah, and I mean, last season, Lucas Proctor was nowhere near the player he was, and now he's at 30 points on the season. But Farrell, any last words before we send it off to the rest of our crew?
No, absolutely not. Should be a good game for the Bombers and Garnet Chargers, so definitely want to stay right here.
We'll see you all at halftime. We're sending off to Max Raymond and Morgan Spriggs on the commentating.
Live from Higgins Stadium, it is Liberty League men's lacrosse between the homestanding Ithaca College Bombers and the Union College Garnet Chargers. It is cold, it is pouring, it is windy, but we are here to break it all down and be with you for this game. Along with Max Raymond, I'm Morgan Spriggs, and Max, Ithaca is coming off their second straight loss, a road loss where they almost came back against RPI. What were your takeaways from this game, and what can they do better today?
Going into that game, it's a really tough matchup, not just because RPI, a top-ranked team within the Liberty League, but they're also top-ranked within the nation. RPI currently sitting 4th in the top 20 national rankings. So going into it, you knew it was going to be a hard game. You were coming off of the loss against Hamilton if you're Ithaca. You were trying to play a competitive game, which I think they did. So there's definitely some momentum that this Bomber squad can draw out of that game.
And how about Union? You know, they're coming in at 3-6. They've lost their last two, but they have a winning record on the road, 3-2. What did they do well?
Those last two losses need to be taken with a little bit of a grain of salt, as it was against the #1 ranked school in the nation and currently sitting 16th ranked school in the nation in Tufts and St. Lawrence. For Union, today is a get-back game and a get-right game, and I overheard the head coach talking pregame to his players, basically saying, hey, this is our get-right game. This is also a game that's going to prove our toughness. And he asked his players, what is your why? Why do you want to be here? Head coach Derek Witherford saying that he wants to be a Union Garnet Charger because of the prestige and because of the winning record. And they've got time to do that and get right. But a win today is what they need in order to start righting the ship.
Yeah, exactly right. Derek Witherford in his 6th season at Union College. And we're about to get underway here from the South Hill with the opening face-off. And ball comes loose, and Union turns it over to Ithaca, and running with it is Jared Sedlock, the senior midfielder.
And a big opening win in the face-off circle for the Bombers, something that they've done quite well this season.
Big hit, and Union trying to take it away here. Trying to come up with it is Soul. It comes loose on the far sideline. Lucy tried to get it, and here comes Union with a try in front, and missing the pass there, McAvoy, and here comes Ithaca away with it. It was the pass there for number 45, Mike Wall, to McAvoy, but it was a little offline. And here comes Ithaca with the ball, sending it inside the 5-meter fan. Running with it is Lucas Proctor, plays with his brother Kyle on the team. And Ithaca waiting for a change here to set something up offensively.
And off rip, what we're seeing is the weather already coming into a factor. The slick ball, the slick playing field, and the slick sticks all playing an effect on whether or not these players will be able to control the ball today and already what we've seen so far in this game.
Savory off the Adret feed gave it off. Shot clock down to 35 for Ithaca in the opening moments. On a spin, Cohen Adams tries inside, and it got blocked and went off to the right. It will skid into the near side corner, but it's picked up by the Bombers. Number 18 there, Tim Rogers. Behind the net, then up top to the box. 15 seconds on the shot clock. To the near side. 10 seconds. Adrid weaves in, throws it behind the net. Down to 5 seconds to shoot, and the ball goes out of bounds. 1 second on the shot clock.
Bombers doing a solid job working around, looking for a hole and an opportunity to score, but Union standing strong defensively.
And that will do it for the possession for Ithaca. They don't really get much of a chance on goal against the goaltender Nick Lynch, number 5. Sophomore coming in with a .612 save percentage of 3-4 record. Here comes Union down the far side. Whip one into the box. The defense there for Ithaca. Docks there, part of the defense as we get through the opening minutes, and Union comes with a change. Still waiting for everything to set up. And now, making his move is Taylor. Taylor fed it off to the right side. Faked a shot. Good defense there by Gillum. Trying to turn the corner and getting tracked there is Kip. And again, it pops loose, but retrieved there by Taylor. Taylor, back up top. Send it around to the near side. Shot clock down to 20. Weaving in, behind the net, off the pike pass. Now up top, off the fake. Looking for room, Mike Wall. Wall has that knocked away, and Ithaca comes away with it. Almost turned over there just for a moment, but here come the Bombers with possession as they send it up midfield into the stick of Jared Sedlock. Ed Sedlock fires it in there to Lucas Proctor, the sophomore midfielder / attacker with 30 points for Ithaca, leads the team.
And right off the bat, we're seeing two great defensive possessions. First, the Garnet Chargers forcing the stop. Then on the other end, it's Ithaca with their sticks knocking the ball free.
Off the charge inside there, Brady. Oh, and a score! This crowd erupts with 11 minutes and 8 seconds to go in the first quarter.
It's Jack Giannuzzi, his second goal on the season off of a beautiful ripped snipe top corner to give the Bombers the early lead.
And the friends, family, and fans here braving the elements. I think the rain has stopped just a little bit, but it's still cold, it's still windy, but now it's a score. 1-0 Ithaca, Jack Giannuzzi, the sophomore midfielder with his second goal, and now we're going to have the face-off in the center circle.
Even with the cold, the Bombers faithful have shown up in full force today.
Chris Soule wins it and feeds it off to his left. Now Ithaca waiting for a change. Ethan Flanagan comes out. They win the draw, trying to capitalize off the first goal of the game. It's Savory. Got the pass from Madrid. Savory moves to his left. Finds a teammate. Trying to pierce inside, but good defense there by Union. Here comes the double team, so Madrid bobbles it as he tried to crouch and get the pass. Ball comes loose. Fight for it. Scramble. At least 4 players have it, and Ithaca comes away with it eventually with Ethan Madrid. Madrid making a nice play there.
Continue to keep an eye on today the physical battle that we are going to see between these two Liberty League rivals.
Madrid's pass got broken up and stolen. A great play there for Union. That is Jack Lucy, the sophomore midfielder, and Union trying to get it across.
Ithaca fierce in the ride. Another aspect of this game that the Bombers need to ensure up. Something that was really strong and a key to their phenomenal start this season was their aggression in the ride and forcing turnovers before their opponents could even set up offensively.
Union trying to tie the score, approaching the 9.5-minute mark. There's the pass from O'Neill. Now it's to the stick of number 30, Bo Bensley. Off to the left there on the shot. Going out of bounds is Peter Kipp. Kipp, one of the best scorers for Union, 13 goals, 9 assists. And the shot clock is counting down to 30, and Union with a chance trying to tie. And the pass goes errant. Matt Blasey tried to get it for Bo Bensley, and it goes out of play, and it's Ithaca possession.
And there you see the physicality, not just the act of forcing the ball free, but the physicality forcing a little bit of sense of uncomfortability into the opponents. And you can use your physicality to not just, again, force the ball free, but make your opponents uncomfortable and make them make mistakes. And that is what we just saw right there. We saw Ithaca use their physical play, making the Union players uncomfortable, and it led to a turnover. And now the Ithaca Bombers have the ball and setting up offensively.
Jack Pastore to Graham Brady. Here as Ithaca makes a change. Into the box. This is Pastore. Moving to his left. Turning the corner. Gave it to a teammate. Great defense. Knocked away. And Union comes up with it there. Number 23 is John Sula. Ithaca tries to get it back though. Sula spinning around in the far side corner. Pop there behind the net. Ball comes loose. Trying to swipe at it. And it's Union ball. The effort there was from Lucas Proctor, but he couldn't force the turnover. And then it's going to be a turnover there. Union cannot hold on to it. A whistle blows. It is Ithaca possession.
And again, more and more physicality, and it's just going to turn up and get even more intense. So each team needs to be cautious and wise with their passing, not trying to force any opportunities that aren't there.
There's a shot that goes high. It was off the stick there of Brady.
And Lynch with his first save of the day. Always good for a goalie. It's comforting and settling to get your first save under your belt.
Unfortunately for him, it came after a first goal out. Here comes Union. The pass skids. Here's a drive inside, a little underhand flip, and the great save is made there in the net. The shot there was from Peter Kipp, and here comes Ithaca away with it.
Seeing back and forth, an unfortunate bounce and then a lucky bounce.
That's high and goes behind there from Proctor. That was a great save by Menard as he did not lose his ground, the charging Peter Kipp.
Looking back on that last possession for Union, first it started with a lucky bounce for Union as the ball was knocked out of the defender's stick and knocked free, recovered fortunately by Peter Kipp of Union. He goes for the bounce shot, something we're going to see a lot today with this wet playing surface that's definitely going to help make the ball move in different and unpredictable directions, which could lead to a lot of goals. So Kipp trying to take advantage of the playing surface, but unfortunately for him, the bounce goes right into Menard's stick.
Union begins setting up their possession. Down 1-0. Taylor to his right. Saucers one in and scores!
McKay Taylor, 11th goal on the season, and he's able to even the score at 1.
Mackay Taylor with a big goal, the sophomore midfielder, number 11.
And just like that, folks, we have a tied-up game, a beautiful shot, 2 beautiful shots, one from each team.
Another draw win there for Ithaca. The win there was from Chris Soule, midfielder and also face-off specialist.
Soule the Fogo having a great start to his day, 3 for 3 in the face-off circle.
Now tied at 1. Jack Giannuzzi draws first blood, but Mackay Taylor knots things up at 1 here on the South Hill. Moving inside, Ethan Adrid. To his left, gave it off on the pass, got it back. Tries one in, it got blocked, knocked away, and it's Union with a good defense taking it away.
Now the Garnet Chargers an opportunity to take a lead. What a catch there.
Yes, exactly right there from McAvoy. And now here's a try off to the left, and it goes behind. It was John Sula, junior defender. It is Ithaca possession. 5:40 to go. Tied at 1, first period here in Liberty League Men's Lacrosse.
Sula, somewhat of a unicorn out there on the field. A defender with goals on the season. Not something you see all too often, but definitely a change of pace player that can surprise offenses who tend to leave the long poles alone on the offensive side, on their defensive side of the field.
Jack Pastore backs up, waits for the right Bombers to get on the field, and then he makes his move, jolts to the left, gave it up, working back to the top of the box with under 40 on the shot clock. Now on the stick of Lucas Proctor. Proctor got it knocked away. More good defense there from Union. The play was made by Chris Connolly, senior defender.
And that's now back-to-back possessions with turnovers for the Bombers. Moving forward, they're going to have to clean up their play offensively if they want to even somewhat remotely have an opportunity to score a goal. As Union locking things down defensively.
Chance of defense here from the Bomber faithful here at Higgins Stadium as Union looks to take their first lead. The pass is picked off, taken away by Jake Docks as it was intended for Peter Kipp, and here comes Ithaca with the ball, with possession, with a chance to take the lead back. Collecting it there, Kyle Proctor. Both teams make changes. And sent across to the near side, Kyle Savory with the ball. More changes here for Ithaca. 50 on the shot clock, plenty of time. As making his move is Michael Gillum, senior midfielder. Or excuse me, that was Adrid, pardon me. Adrid sends it behind the net. Tied at 1. Back up to the top of the box, moving right. Adrid sends one in and scores! Ethan Adrid gives Ithaca the lead again, 2-1.
Adrid, 9th goal on the season, and that's his specialty, the long-range shot. You're not going to see Adrid drive all too often. He feasts off of the open opportunities from range, an incredible shooter. Keep an eye on him to continue to rip shots from distance.
They say Lucas Proctor on the assist. Proctor with 12 assists for this Ithaca team. Such a productive offensive player. Tangled up on the draw. Union tries to win it for the first time in a long time. It was Luke Tranter trying to come up with it. It comes loose and we have a whistle as Tranter came to the ground and got tripped. So here comes Union with the ball, waiting for substitutions, the ball in the stick of Kip.
Let's see what Union can do. They have the opportunity to respond quickly off of winning their first face-off on the day. But now you've got to take advantage of the opportunity press presented in front of you.
Sends one a drive off to the left. I think it went off the bottom of the post. That shot there from Foley.
Rung off the iron. Menard going to want to go and thank his trusty post for making the save for him.
Now Ithaca possession. Lucas Proctor sends it behind him to his teammate number 25, Jack Pastore, senior attacker, also a midfielder as well. Just a great player. He has 13 goals. So watch out for him today. On the move inside, Giannuzzi, who has one of the 2 Ithaca goals, got it back on the return feed from Lucas Proctor. Now send it across once again there, and Graham Brady's stick, and Brady got bumped. Brady trying to turn around and make a pass. He backpedals and gives it back. It's Giannuzzi to Brady. Fakes the shot, then drives one in and scores! Graham Brady, 3-1, IC.
Brady, his 12th goal on the season. A long-range shot gives the Bombers the 3-1 lead. Helps them further extend the lead as the first quarter slowly ticks off and nears conclusion.
We are inside 2 minutes to go in the first period. Ithaca 3, Union 1. Tangled up on the draw. Both schools fighting for it. It pops out, and they're going to say it goes to Union. So a violation there on the draw, and here come the Garnet Chargers with possession. So what do you think Union needs to do in order to get back into this game, Max?
They need to slow things down, and they need to work on their efficient passing. The passing has been the problem. They've been trying to force opportunities that aren't there, and they've been trying to force passes to players that aren't open. Clean up the offense, and that will lead to scoring and closing up this gap.
1 minute to go in the first quarter. Union trying to get one back, but the good defense there. The shot goes wide off to the left. It spits out into the corner. Still 32 on the shot clock.
Unrelenting Ithaca defense, something we've seen all season and will continue to see as the season continues.
On the stick of Kip. Gave it up on a pass. Trying to enter the fan. On the spin around there, O'Neill. 35 seconds on the game clock, now at 10 on the shot clock. Countdown going on for the fans. That try goes wide on the wraparound. Out of bounds, 27 1/10 on the game, 3 on the shot clock. Union trying to set something up really quick.
Union's just going to throw it and dump it into the corner. A smart play because it provides your teammates and your defense to be able to get back and set up defensively. 3 seconds on the shot clock. Really not enough time to get an offensive attack and a shot on net. So wise of the players to just throw the ball out of bounds and put it in a spot far away where it forces Ithaca players to have to go to and give your teammates time to set up defensively.
Ball pinballs around. Bodies on the floor. Union trying to have a late push. 1 second. Send one in. Blocked aside. And that will do it for the first period. With the score, Ithaca 3, Union 1. A fun, exciting game between two Liberty League opponents. We will take a quick break and come right back here on Bomber Sports. Stay right with us. Back here for the second period, I'm Morgan Spriggs along with Max Raymond. And Max, what are your takeaways here from this Ithaca 3-1 lead after 15 minutes of play?
Going into this game, it's going to come down to the Ithaca offense, whether or not they'll be able to win, as the defense has been really strong. The goaltending stellar this season, and off rip we are seeing quite a bit of offense from the Bombers. However, if they want to score more and continue to score, they're going to need to make sure that they keep their play clean, limiting the turnovers, and continuing to use an aspect of their offense that has been strong this season, which is the passing and the team play. Continue to work the ball around to the open player.
Here, face-off to begin the second period, and it's won by Ithaca. Ithaca has done well with the face-offs. They have that advantage right now.
That was Gulick coming out, taking his first face-off of the day and winning it for the Bombers.
Kyle Proctor sends it behind him to Kyle Savory, graduate defender with 18 goals. He's a huge offensive threat. Going into this second period, Ithaca's won 4 out of the 6 face-offs, to be exact. Ithaca with the first possession. It got knocked away, but it's retrieved by Adrid. Popped behind the net. Looking in front. Nick Lynch keeping his eye on the ball here as we pass the first minute of play in the period. Not getting enough room there is Savory, so he has to weave it behind the cage. Proctor on the pass to the X. Adrid thought about the shot. Adrid gives it up to Proctor. Little bounce shot and it scores! The offensive threat, Kyle Savory.
Savory, goal number 17 on the season. And the Bombers extending their lead to 4-1.
So the Bombers, on their first possession of the second period, get a goal extending their lead to 3, and here's the face-off.
And right there we saw it was the passing from the Bombers which eventually led to that goal.
Chase Gillick won it for a moment. It's popped high up in the air like a pop fly in baseball. And we have a whistle from the officials to stop play, and they're going to say it goes to the Garnet Chargers.
Bombers continuing the momentum that they set up. Seemed like the momentum might have started to swing at the end of that first quarter with Union forcing that beautiful turnover. But Ithaca coming out strong, scoring the goal, and now swinging the momentum their way.
Behind the net, pass goes loose. A little bit of a sloppy play there, and Ithaca with it off the takeaway. With momentum. Popped in. Pass was a little high there from Kyle Proctor, and it goes behind the net. And you mentioned earlier in the broadcast, Max, about the passing needing to be improved for Union in order to come back into this game. That's not one that you would like to see if you're rooting for the Garnet Chargers.
Definitely not a clean pass, as it looks like the officials are going to rule that last play as a shot, not a pass, although it clearly did seem like a pass. And so because of that, and because a Bomber was closer to the location by which the ball went out, Ithaca is going to keep possession.
Jack Giannuzzi feeds it off to his right. A one-bounce shot goes behind the net.
Liam Lennon with the shot, looking to take advantage of the playing field that, although it hasn't rained in a hot minute, it's still slick.
The senior with one goal. Ithaca trying to set something up. Oh, nice block there by Lynch. Can Ithaca retrieve? Yes, they can. And it bounds further back into the offensive zone. And bringing it up is Jack Giannuzzi.
Excuse me, sorry, that wasn't Lennon. That was Graham Brady with that shot earlier.
Yeah, Brady with one goal already. It came in the first period. Giannuzzi stops, gives it off. Sent one in. Oh, blocked aside there are Lucas Proctor with an attempt. Scramble for the ball in the near side corner. 33 seconds on the shot clock for Ithaca. Up 4-1, looking to go up 5-1.
Gabe Elkin wearing that shot off the back, putting his body on the line.
Off to the left, Lucas Proctor with the drive. Tim Rogers dove and tried to save it, to no avail. It is Union possession, down 3.
And again, we look to see the Garnet Chargers can get going, as Ithaca really aggressive now, increasing the intensity with their ride.
Union does, in fact, get it over the midline.
And a great job there by Pastore, as you may have heard a little bit of yelling coming from Union's side as they were looking for an offsides, but Pastore wisely stayed back on the offensive side. You have to have at least 3 players back on the opposite side of the field, otherwise it's an offside. And Pastore stayed back, which allowed Rogers to step over the line on that play and still not get called for the too many men, or the offsides call.
Kip shot didn't go very far, and it's taken away by the Bombers. And then that one goes loose, but still retrieved by the Bombers. That takeaway was by Jace Docks. And Ithaca makes a change.
Docks continuing to force the turnovers today. I believe that is his second forced turnover on the day.
He's been involved defensively for sure.
Trying to stick it to a machete knife in the ball away.
Cullen Adams turns around and hands it off to Tim Rogers. Rogers making his move, dips inside. Score! Ethan Adrid! 5-1 Ithaca.
Adrid, goal number 2 on the day, 10 on the season, the first multi-goal scorer of the day for the Bombers. Bombers 4 different goal scorers, but Adrid the first to tally 2 on the day. Ithaca 5-1 lead and growing.
Another goal by the sophomore midfielder Ethan Adrid, and now for the face-off. Bombers have won 4 out of 7. And they are going to say it belongs to Ithaca, violation for Union on the face-off, so everything's going right for the home team.
Indeed it is, as the Bombers now provided another opportunity to further extend their lead. And something interesting that we haven't really seen all too often is, well, the lack of a certain name being called, that being the Proctor name, as the brothers combined for 2 points, both by which from Lucas Proctor, the 2 assists, neither of which have a goal yet on the day. Something we don't see all too often.
Jack Giannuzzi got a touch, now tries to screen as Ithaca tries to set something up. Rogers moves into the fan. Pass goes wide and errant, and Union will have possession.
And for Union, this could be that opportunity. And a mistake from the Bombers. And now you have the opportunity. You go, you score. And we could start seeing the tables turn in favor of Union. And you have to score, though, on this play, on this opportunity.
It all starts with one. Get one goal and you'll feel a lot better if you're Union College. Liberty League men's lacrosse here from Ithaca, New York at Higgins Stadium. To the top of the box is Kip. Kip's had a lot of shots, but a lot of them have been blocked by this great defense, and that one goes off to the right. The shot there by Taylor, who has the lone Union goal. 38 in the shot clock and counting as Union puts it in bounds. Ithaca with the defense clogging up the middle, knocked away, broken up. Can the Bombers have another takeaway here? No, they cannot. Union gets it back. Drive inside, fight for it, and it goes out of play.
Just want to take a second to admire the incredible passing that we just witnessed from Union. Unfortunately, unable to finish it off with a goal. What a goal that would have been. ESPN top 10 worthy. The behind the back, the no-look across the pass across the crease. Some incredible passing, but unfortunately for the Garnet Chargers, they're unable to finish off what could have been an incredible play.
And it would have been Walter Popko who would have gotten the goal there. He has 24, leading all players in this game coming into this contest. Kyle Savory has it and awaits a change. It's Ethan Adrid, who's had a busy day with the stick. Adrid moves in. Adrid whips one off wide and behind.
Another long-range shot deflected by the netminder Nick Lynch, so the shot clock will reset to 60 seconds.
7.5 minutes to go in the second period, and a takeaway behind the net for Union. They break it up.
Great defensive play by the Garnet Chargers.
We have a whistle, and it's Ithaca bringing it up. So a turnover. The official's making a call. Ethan Adrid comes out as Jack Giannuzzi has the ball. Giannuzzi moves to his right, has the teammates he wants, and makes his move. Giannuzzi already has a goal. Circles all the way behind the net, taking his time as we approach the 6.5 minute mark in the first half. Giannuzzi stops, turns around, still looking, still darting. Now off the one bounce pass to the top of the box. Set one in, blocked aside. Bombers looking for the ricochet. It comes loose there. And it's Union taking it away with a big stop there. Nice save there by Lynch as Graham Brady tried to put another one in.
There's Matt McKenzie for Union.
Great defense again by Ithaca. They do not allow it to be easy for Union to even get past midfield, but they do eventually, as it's on the stick of Matt McKenzie, junior midfielder.
McKenzie, the one recovering the free ball on that last play, being also the one to bring it back across into the offensive zone for the Garnet Chargers.
Seamus O'Neill on the pass back to the circle. Bo Bensley Makes his move in. Got bumped on the left shoulder, so had to give it up to a teammate closer. It's Mackay Taylor. Taylor sends one in and scores from a sideways angle. Taylor with his second goal, and Union has cut it a little closer, 5-2.
I believe that was actually Peter Kipp on the shot. And what a shot it was. Bar down, that ball sits just under the crossbar, hitting the very top of the net before ricocheting out, and that's why a little bit of confusion ran through the players, especially those of Ithaca. So it's Peter Kipp with the goal, 14th on the season, and Union, now they've got a face-off win. Could we see the tides turning in their favor, as they're now going to call a timeout?
Pardon me, that was Peter Kipp. It was Mackay Taylor who was driving in, but Kipp there with the goal, and we have a timeout. So what do you think Union has done well recently, Max, in order to get back into this game, to score a goal, to cut the deficit now to 5-2, just inside 5.5?
Well, what we've seen is we've seen them resettle back in defensively. We saw early on and then late in that first quarter, Union's defense struggled, but they settled down in the middle. And here we are, kind of in that middle. We're nearing the end of the quarter, but in that middle phase where Union's defenses seem to find their groove. And then offensively on that last possession, the ball movement, the body movement, that's been the key for both sides. But it's been Ithaca who've been able to actually capitalize on their great offensive play. Union, finally on that last play, taking advantage of the work that they've put in offensively. So moving forward, both teams looking to keep offense clean, as both teams' defense has been quite strong today. The block shots, the forced turnovers, it's been a aggressive, physical game that the Bombers have dominated. They've been the more physical team. They've been the cleaner team offensively. Look for Union now coming out of this timeout to have a play set up to get another goal, close this lead even further, take advantage, take the momentum, and look for them to focus on a clean offense for the rest of this game as we get ready and move closer to halftime and into the second half.
Union possession. Off the timeout, trying to cut it even closer after the goal by Kipp. Another drive in and another goal.
Bo Bensley, first of the season. And what a game and what a time to do it. It's just like that. They had a play set up, the pass, this slide over to the open slot. Ithaca doesn't pick up and slide over to cover off Bo Bensley, who gets an open shot, the red carpet laid out for him, and he takes advantage. 5-3 Bombers, and just like that,
it's a completely different game.
Lead has been cut in half as the third Union Garnet Charger to score a goal on the day.
The freshman with a milestone in his collegiate career, his first goal for Union.
It's Soul sent out for the Bombers to look to win the faceoff, but he's unable to. And so now Union, an incredible opportunity, something they haven't really had in a hot minute today, and that's the opportunity to make this a one-goal game. And
Peter Kipp captaining the offense. 50 seconds on the shot clock as Union sets something up. They've scored back-to-back goals from Kipp and Bensley.
Now we're seeing the wet surface come into play, as that was number 9, Emmett Line, slip into the ground but able to recover his footing and continue the offensive pressure for the Garnet Chargers.
Behind the net, looking for a wraparound, possibly on the turnaround, and a save made. The shot there was from number 45, Mike Wall, who already has 8. But the nice stop is made in the cage.
Menard, third save on the day, 500 save percentage.
Score! Right off the possession starting. It's Max Warren, his first.
And there it is, A momentum changer from the pole. It's a pole goal for the Bombers, and a huge goal as that flips the momentum once again in favor of the Bombers.
6-3, Ithaca on top.
An incredible feat. Fans, you are lucky if you've seen something today that we don't get to see often. A pole goal.
Ithaca aggressive defensively, but it comes away and goes to Union. So when you thought Union could be trying to pull a comeback, it's the goal by Max Warren, the long stick midfielder with the tally, completely shifting the course of this first half.
Not just that, but also reinvigorating the Bombers fans. And we've started to see and hear, especially a little more, coming from the Bomber faithful.
Peter Kipp has a shot go behind the net and out of play, but Union with plenty of time to try and score again. On the stop and pivot is Holland. Holland still has it. Fakes turning to the left, instead gives it to Peter Kipp. And Kipp off the hesitation. He moves to his left. He's tracked from behind. And he gives it up on a little shovel pass. Inside 10 on the shot clock. It is Holland. Holland, that shot is off to the left. It goes out of play. 3 seconds on the shot clock. Union try to set something up here. They are 2-1. It pops free, and that'll do it for the possession for Union.
So Menard does not make contact with that shot. It just rings wide, and that is why the shot clock was not reset.
Ithaca possession off the Warren goal, first of the season for him. And now what can Ithaca do? Up 6-3, now 2 minutes to go in the second quarter and the first half.
A pull goal, a big stop defensively. And the Bombers, they've got the momentum.
Pass goes high, intended for Rogers, out to the center circle, and it is going to be Union possession. Colin Adams looked to retrieve it.
And over and back, that was Walker Popko for Union, who did not fully obtain possession of the ball. So it is an over and back and a Union ball. And Union going to take another timeout as they look to set up another play, get another goal, and try to get the momentum leaning back in their favor before halftime.
90 seconds to go. Ithaca 6 and Union 3. 2 goals from Ethan Madrid, 1 from Kyle Savory, 1 from Jack Giannuzzi, 1 from Graham Brady, and 1 from Max Warren. And for Union, the goals look like this. It is Taylor, Kipp, and Bensley all with 1. So who has impressed you most offensively? Also, Lucas Proctor, good to mention, he has 2 assists. Who's been the most impressive player for both teams so far?
Well, so far I've kind of been not really impressed by anyone. I'm going to go with Max Warren, someone you don't really expect to see, but I've really actually been the opposite. I've been more of underwhelmed by, for the Bombers side, the Proctor brothers. Yet to really see them again. Lucas Proctor, the 2 assists, but we're really more used to seeing a Proctor goal as the 2 brothers. That's basically what they do. They are known for scoring. The 2 of them averaging over a goal per game so far this season. On the other side, it's Walker Popko, the lead scorer from Union, someone who I especially anticipated coming into this game saying his name quite a bit, as he's the lead scorer, and it just seems like this Union offense tends to run through him. Not today. They've came in with a different game plan, using Mackay Taylor and Peter Kipp to run their offense through, and we'll see what they choose to do with this play, as it is going to be Walker Popko starting with the ball for the Gardner Chargers.
Clock begins off the timeout. Seamus O'Neal on his stick, carrying it with the right hand. O'Neal behind the net on a pass. Try for one in front on a bounce shot. It goes off to the left. There, the attempt by Peter Kipp. And it'll be Bomber possession off the missed opportunity for Union.
Union, a great play set up, but an even better defensive stop from the Bombers.
Ithaca possession. Michael Gillum pops one over to the right side. We have a whistle and I believe another timeout.
This one for the Bombers with 50. The timeout's resetting for the second half. Why not? Take the timeout, set up a play, and look to really get the momentum in your favor as you head into half.
Jump around playing on the loudspeakers, and we're going to jump around some more after this quick timeout. We'll see you in just a moment. Back here on the South Hill, 50 and 9/10 seconds to go in the first half. Alongside Max Raymond, I'm Morgan Spriggs. Before we get to halftime coverage, of course, stay right here with us when that happens. Spinning with the ball with Druid, who already has 2 goals. Be great if he can get a hat trick. It's a Druid. Waits, sends it behind him. Cullen Adams moves in to the X, send it around the horn. And it is Proctor, Lucas Proctor in fact, with the ball, gave it to a Druid, got it right back. Saucer to the right side, approaching the net, 10 seconds on the clock. Crowd gets loud here, they want a goal to end the half for Ithaca. It comes loose, squibs out of bounds, 9/10 of a second. And Union will have it, but that should just about do it. Under a second, that will do it, with Ithaca doubling up Union 6-3. And stay right with us here. In just a moment, we're going to have our halftime coverage of this Ithaca College and Union men's lacrosse game. Stay right with us on Bomber Sports.
Welcome back to Higgins Stadium here on Bomber Sports. This is the Ithaca Bombers halftime report as Ithaca's taken a 6-3 lead in men's lacrosse over the Union Garnet Chargers. Joined alongside Noah Abraham, I'm Farrell Hudson. And Noah, pretty much what we expected out of that first half. We were talking about 17-14, 14-10, the score being somewhere in that range. Hey, 6-3 right now, on pace for a 12-6 Ithaca victory. What have you liked that you've seen from the Bombers so far?
I mean, I can't believe how aggressive they've been on offense. 6 goals in one half. And the craziest part is no goals from the Proctor brothers. You know, these are the two stars of the team. It's been coming from other players. We saw Ethan Adrid with 2 goals. He's only had that once all season. He already has 2 at half. And then Giannuzzi has had 2 goals all season, already has a goal. And then, of course, Brady and Savory, familiar names we see scoring. And then Max Warren, first goal on the season. I mean, when your star players aren't scoring like they usually are, this is where you go through the depth of your bench to find someone to step up, and that's exactly what the Bombers have done.
Ithaca's bench depth has been impressive. A couple weeks ago in that 2-game stretch with both Brockport and Vassar, you saw 4 different hat tricks come from 4 different players, and then today in the game, the aforementioned Ethan Adrid with 2 goals, Kyle Savory with 1, Jack Giannuzzi and Graham Brady filling out some of the scoring for the Ithaca College Bombers. And you mentioned that the lack of the Proctor brother impact in comparison to other games. What was the largest X factor, or who was the largest X factor to the Bombers' success in the first half?
I think this is when we look at the other side of the ball, the defense holding this high-scoring Union offense. I mentioned they basically scored double digits almost every single game, and now they only have 3 at half. This is one of their lowest-scoring halves for the season. I mean, it looked like they were only going to end the half with one goal, and now going into this next half, this is a big game for both teams because they're both 1-1 in conference. Whoever loses this game is going to have a losing record.
And despite Ithaca playing really well defensively, you could still see Union trying to take advantage of a couple gaping holes. They still had 8 shots, 3 of them were on goal, and then were able to finally score 3 goals in the game so far. So for Ithaca, they definitely kept them staying on their toes. And you talk about Andrew Menard. We spoke about the impact that he's had all season for Ithaca. He had himself another very solid first half. What did he like from Menard? But I will say, too, that noticed a weak spot where they're beating him down low consistently. Bombers do have to watch out for that.
Yeah, and I think he should think on his defense a lot. I mean, the defense has really been stepping it up this game, like I just mentioned before. He did an amazing job in the first quarter, only allowing 1 goal, I think. But then you see towards the second half, towards the second quarter, he gets a little exhausted, lets up 2 goals. He just has to make sure that that offensive momentum on Union doesn't get to him. But he's been doing a phenomenal job.
What surprises do you think that the Bombers gave us in the first half? Was it the lack of the Proctor scoring in comparison to usual, or did you think on the defensive side of the ball maybe they weren't going to have as strong of a first half because you mentioned how strong Union's offense is? Just overall, was there anything that gave you a bit of a surprise?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the defensive side. They only have 1 caused turnover this whole entire half, and Union is forcing Ithaca to turn it over. Ithaca has 11 turnovers total in the first half, which is, I mean, unacceptable. I mean, Union has 10, but when you have such a close game, that means so much for the season. You need to step it up. So taking care of the ball is going to be key going into the second half.
Yeah, and in that second quarter, that was about as tight as ever. Ithaca led the battle 3-2 in goals, 6-3 in shots on goal, but 10-10 shots in total. And then on the Union end, too, you had some guys definitely step up for them. And you talk about Nick Lynch, the goalkeeper, only a .400 save percentage today, but he made a couple timely saves that kept the Garnet Chargers in that game so far.
4 saves on the day. You could say he's outplaying Menard so far, but also that Ithaca defense is contributing for Menard only having 3 saves so far.
And we've spoken about how strong Union is on the offensive end, challenging Andrew Menard, as you see head coach Tommy Pierce right now out giving Andrew Menard a little pre-second half work. What do you think the Garnet Chargers now on the flip side need to do for them to halt this 3-point comeback in the second half?
I mean, they need to keep up the energy on offense. Having those 2 goals right before the half ended was giving them a lot of momentum. I understand Ithaca did have that goal from Max Warren, but it kind of feels like they're even when it comes to the momentum. And of course, lacrosse, the biggest part is having the energy, and that's exactly what the Garnet Chargers have right now.
Do you think defense is the key X factor on the other side for the Ithaca Bombers to hold their 3-point lead, or are you still seeing something offensively that's missing?
I think we need to see some more calls, turnovers from Ithaca, be a little bit more aggressive on that defensive end. Take the load off Andrew Menard a bit more.
It's funny that we talk about Lucas and Kyle Proctor, and that was a quiet first half for them. Still 2 assists for Lucas Proctor. He's still finding ways to stay relevant. Yeah, he had 3 turnovers, and I don't mean stay relevant in the sense of that he's never not. It's more the point that this is a quiet game for him, and it's still a silent 2 assist first half. That's how strong he's been. But overall for the Bombers, as you said, you'd like to see a little bit more scoring. You're not getting it from the guys where maybe you've seen it before, a Jared Sedlock, a Brendan Ochino, Kyle Proctor. So you expect to see them step up a little bit more. But for the most part, the Ithaca Bombers taking care of business as they have a 6-3 lead, and we send it to the second half. In just a couple minutes back from break, Morgan Spriggs and Max Raymond will have you with the call here on Bomber Sports. This is Ithaca Men's Lacrosse.
While the weather may be cold, the clouds are beginning to part way as the sun starts to peek out over Higgins Stadium. The Ithaca College Bombers are red hot either way. They lead it 6-3. Max Raymond alongside Morgan Spriggs here to bring you the rest of the way and through this second half. But before that, we take a quick look back at the first half and how the Bombers have been able to take this incredible lead.
Yeah, exactly right, Max. It's been a really, really productive game for Ithaca. When they've gotten their chances, they've really capitalized. They started really well on the face-offs, and that set a huge, huge tone for the game. I mean, if you look overall, actually, Union is winning the face-off battle 6-5, but it doesn't look like it. It has been a really, really tight game played. I know the score 6-3 doesn't look like it, but Union's playing really well, especially defensively. They've caused 6 turnovers. Watch out to see if they can get into this game in the second half. They are really, really dangerous.
The Garnet Chargers started to swing the momentum back in their favor towards the end of the first half, but the Bombers in the pole goal being the game changer and the reason why they hold the momentum. As we prepare for the second half, Chris Soule heading out there for the Bombers. It'll be McHugh for the Chargers. Opening face-off of the second half will be upon us in just a second. Now the official peels away. The player's ready, the whistle blows, and we are off, and it is McHugh with the face-off win, and the Chargers with the first offensive possession of the second half.
Yeah, Liam McHugh, 2 face-off wins coming into this third period, getting a third, and that's a good start for Union. Usually the first possession sets the tone for the rest of the period or the half.
Taylor McKay with the ball for the Chargers as he looks to slip, dodge, and drive. He'll drop it down to X, working its way back out to Kip, but the pass skips in the ground, and it is free. Jay Stocks fighting for it. He's going to knock it away for the Bombers, and he will recover. And so the opening offensive possession, sloppy as Gillum works it over to Proctor. Bombers moving quickly, not wasting any time, looking for Docks. Clean pass, unable to be collected. Loose ball still out on the ground. Savory with the Bombers to collect it, and now he's going to slow things down and allow his teammates to gather themselves and allow reinforcements to get on the field.
Nice play there by Jake Dax by just batting the ball around long enough so that Union could not get possession cleanly. It looked like it could have been a turnover there, but no. Nice job with the situational offense for Ithaca.
And then Drid getting it over to Rogers for the Bombers. Rogers, fake shots. He's going to rip it off the crossbar. Shot clock resets. Drid gathering the rebound. His pass was looking for Savory. Unable to complete it, but it's Adams recovering the loose ball. He's going to get it over to Savory. Dodges. Drid, the shot wide, and that's going to go behind the net. Official signaling that it did not hit the netminder, Nick Lynch, and so the shot clock does not reset, but the pass to Savory. Bounce shot, that goes wide. So the Bombers, a little bit of a different offensive approach to open this second half.
Yeah, they're peppering the shots at the net. They think that they can get a good bounce, and if they keep trying.
Another opportunity goes the wayside, and so Union stands strong defensively.
Great save by Lynch as the ball went off to the side of the net, right near the crossbar, and he had the wherewithal to collect it. Nice awareness for him to keep this at a 6-3 game.
McKenzie gives it over to Kip. Kip now to O'Neal. O'Neal directing teammates around. Gives it over to McKenzie. O'Neal still directing McKenzie where to go. McKenzie dodges, tries to get it to his right hand for the shot, unable to, but the ball finds its way into Kip's stick. Working it around, now down to X. To Taylor. Excuse me, that's not Taylor, that is 31. McAvoy. McAvoy dodging, trying to find a lane. Great defense from the Bombers as they stand strong. O'Neal with it. And O'Neal unable to find a lane to dodge. He's going to give it to a teammate now that is 22. Blaine can't find anything. So the Bomber defense, dominant. A pass, a shot, and that one is finally going to go. That will be Archie McAvoy, 12th of the season. And Union makes it a 2-goal game.
And McAvoy setting the tone for Union in the second half. All of a sudden, it is a 2-goal game again. And now here the face-off to see if they can get another possession to cut it even further. Nice possession there. They got behind the great Bomber defense and found a lane, and McAvoy ripped it, didn't hesitate.
And so the continued pressure and push finally profits a goal, as they're going to redraw. Soul thinking that the Garnet Charger face-offman, believe that his McHugh back out there jumped early, but he did not, so they're going to redraw. And now a fierce fight. Both teams clawing at it. Recovered by the Bombers. Knocked free again. Soul misses. Trying to tap it to Soul. Unable to get it there. And here come the Garnet Chargers now with possession. And they're going to slow things down. So the surface seemingly still slippery as that ball was just sliding all over the place. No one able to pick it up. A hot potato, some may say. But it's the Garnet Chargers who recover. And it's the Garnet Chargers who set up offensively. Line with it. Slowly working his way down to X. Line now going to try to dodge. He's going to just dump it off at X. McAvoy, he's going to put another shot. That one's going to go wide. Did Menard get a piece of it? The official's going to say no, so the shot clock stays as is. But it will retain Garnet Charger ball as a yard sale. That ball's free, and the Bombers have the ball.
The defense for Ithaca is relentless.
And here come the Bombers. They're moving fast, quick passing. But Rogers doesn't find the lane, so he will peel off. But what a great defensive play there by the Bombers.
Exactly right. This is the kind of defense that stops rallies in their tracks. Union has been trying to come back ever since it was a 1-1 game, and Ithaca scored several goals in a flurry. They've been trying to climb their way back scoring-wise, but this Ithaca defense has made it so hard.
Giannuzzi running around. Eventually he'll dump it off. Now slip dodge. Pastore, he's not going to find a lane. It's going to work its way into the Proctor stick. Kyle Proctor giving it up. Ball works his way around. Now down to X. It's Lucas Proctor. The continued passing, the Bombers' specialty. It's what they do best. Giannuzzi with it. He's got a lane. He's going to shoot a little high. I believe that might have got the post, maybe a little bit of Lynch.
I would be shocked if it didn't hit the post as it ricocheted all the way off to the left near the light tower.
Giannuzzi, a great opportunity, but unable to finish it. That's a shot. That one's going to go in. There it is. It's Kyle Proctor. His first of the day, 17th on the season, and his first point on the day, and there it is, a Proctor goal.
Yeah, exactly right, Max. We've been thinking about when are one of the Proctor brothers, Kyle or Lucas, going to show up on the score sheet and create, big plays offensively. Kyle Proctor there with a 7-4 lead Ithaca now on that goal. That's big for him and the whole squad.
Lucas Proctor, 2 assists on the day, and Kyle Proctor finally joining that score sheet. As plays can be blown dead, it will be Charger ball. And Ithaca, they respond with a goal of their own. It's 7-4, but the Bombers are going to have to put up a big defensive showing if they want to keep this 3-goal lead. Here comes Union. A pass off. It's Kip with it. Finds Taylor. Taylor looking to run around. He's going to dump it off. On the far side now with the ball. Works it down to X. It's McAvoy. Back over to Kip. Continued ball movement around the perimeter. Kip trying to find a lane to dodge inside. He's just going to dump it down to X. Now it's McAvoy with it. Back out to Taylor. Back to McAvoy with the pass. Hits a Bomber helmet. And so the Bombers will recover. Ryan Meyer getting in the way of that pass and the turnover, the Bomber recovery, and the Bomber possession. Great ball movement, but for Union, just not enough. As they get a little sloppy, they slide a little bit on the turf that, yes, folks, is indeed still wet, although it hasn't rained for about almost an hour now.
Yeah,
the Bombers with the offensive possession. Rogers with it. We'll get it down to X.
The rain was downpouring earlier, but thankfully for the fans, family, and players especially, it has stopped.
Now up top, Adrid fakes a shot to Savory, but his shot just a little high, going to be knocked away, though. A great save by Nick Lynch, keeping the Chargers in this game. Great job by Adrid, the threat, with 2 goals already, drawing all the attention, getting it to the wide-open Savory, but unfortunately unable to put it in the back of the net. Bombers, though, maintaining possession. That's a shot. That one's going to go wide. Rogers down at X, keeping possession in favor of the Bombers. So we've seen 2 different offensive play styles, as that's going to be a shot deflected in front and recovered by Lynch. I was about to say, we've seen 2 different play styles offensively from the Bombers. We've seen the great passing in the first half, which led to the 6 goals. Now we've seen the barrage of shooting that's led to 1 goal, but it almost feels like they're starting to kind of shift back to that passing, more passing-focused offensive style than the shooting-focused style.
Yeah, this Bomber offense is incredibly malleable. They can contort themselves into any kind of situation in what kind of approach they want to have that will favor them. Really, and this defense has been incredible, so they have the ability to a little bit experiment on offense, see what works best, and it's worked so far with 7 goals.
It's O'Neal with the ball. O'Neal getting worked on by Gillum. O'Neal's going to dump it off to Kip. Kip giving it to Popko. Popko now dropped down to X. To McAvoy. He's going to sneak it, and it looks like, is that in? It is a goal. McAvoy, his second of the game. Second of the quarter. That one deflecting off of Menard and into the back of the net. And just like that, Union has made it a 2-goal game once again.
They keep inching closer. Union keeps making it a 2-goal game over and over and over again. What the key is, can they make it a 1-goal game? McAvoy has kept them in it. 2 big tallies here in this third frame. But now as Ithaca wins the draw control, what can Union do defensively to try to get this ball back?
The Bombers with the possession off of the draw. And so, are we seeing maybe a little bit of wear? Something to keep an eye on as we move forward, as these defenses are starting to kind of falter a little bit and the offenses are starting to kind of feast on this lapse in readiness as the Bombers moving the ball around quickly. Proctor with it, getting it back out. Ball now up top to Graham. Brady to Giannuzzi with it. Giannuzzi to Rogers. And the passing now from the Bombers. Graham with it. Elects not to shoot. Dishes it. The shot off the post. A great opportunity in front. That was Pat Story with the shot. But it just rings off the iron. Bombers recover the rebound. 53 on the shot clock, so plenty of time to set something up as it's Giannuzzi. Ball gets knifed away from him, recovered by Pastore. Pastore over to Rogers. Rogers down to X. Proctor with it. Had a lane but closed off quickly. Now to Rogers. Back to Pastore. Slips. Shot. Scores! Jack Pastore. What a snipe. What a goal. Bombers lead extends to 3.
Again, I keep on saying, can Union get a stop, try to get it back, cut it to 1? They cannot. This relentless Bomber attack, Jack Pastore gets the goal as Ithaca was robbed as it went inside the post but not in the crease. I got a little unlucky with that shot before the Pastore goal, but it's the determination of this Bomber squad to do everything they can to add goals to their tally.
They're relentless. The word I like to use. Relentless, offensively, defensively, and in the ride, as we're seeing right here. The continued pressure. But the Garnet Chargers find a way to relieve the pressure. And now flip the fields. Number 32 for the Chargers, Connolly with it. He's going to pass it off to Popko, and he's going to get off the field as let some of his short stick teammates take this offensive possession. And Taylor with it. Slowing things down. Dumping it off. Bo Bensley looking to try to get more to the midfield. Forced back. Gonna reset. Gonna try again to get to the middle. He's going to this time, but his shot goes high. It's McAvoy down at X, who will be the closest player, so Union Charger ball still. McAvoy trying to use the screen to no avail. Dumps it off to Kip, who gets it over to Bensley. Excuse me, not Bensley, that is number 20. And the ball works its way around to Taylor. Taylor, the behind-the-back pass to Popko. Popko, the shot, as the shot clock nears conclusion, it's going to roll wide, not off of Menard. So 6 seconds remain on the shot clock.
Union already setting up their defense on the other end of Popko.
Here comes McAvoy. He's going to look for a shot. Shot clock runs out, and it will be Bombers' ball. McAvoy almost able to get that shot on net. Should he have been able to, it would have at the very least reset the shot clock. Should then Union have the opportunity to collect the rebound, but nonetheless, it's Bombers' ball.
What I was saying before is that you have to give Ithaca's defense a lot of credit in really stifling Walter Popko, coming in with 24 goals on the season. He has really been very, very quiet today here on the South Hill. That has been such a huge factor of why the Bombers currently hold this 3-goal lead.
With the ball now for the bottom. Bombers up top. Cullen Adams. He's going to pass it off. It's Rogers with it. Rogers to Adrid.
Madrid. Back to Adams, now at the bottom of your screen. Loses it for a second, but recovers now to X. Works its way back out to Madrid. Madrid to Proctor, back to Madrid. Looking for a lane. A little more pressure now from the Union defense as they're extending out a little bit. Continued flurry of passing and the extending, something that not many defenses do, as it could leave you vulnerable to overextension. As that pass, though, is going to be intercepted, but the ball knocked free and out of play, so it will be Bomber ball. Great job in the right there from the Bombers. I was saying, though, defensively, not many teams like to extend out too much, especially against opponents like the Bombers who love to pass so much, as it leaves you open and leaves an open opportunity for a teammate and an offensive opponent to become open. But Union, using their physicality, extending a little bit, it forced the turnover, but then the Bombers, they stayed aggressive and turned the ball right back over, as that is going to be Proctor. Kyle Proctor doing a great job staying in bounds and keeping the ball in bounds. Bombers still with possession. Plenty of time on the shot clock. Rogers to Proctor to Proctor. Kyle with it. Back to Rogers up top. Rogers looking for a lane to shoot. Not there. Brady with it. Back to Rogers. Back to Proctor. And another pass. Intercepted by the Garnet Chargers. And the Bombers are going to drop back and set something up defensively.
Yet another takeaway for Union. They are really, really good with breaking up these passes that go across the formation.
McKenzie with the ball. Minute 10 and ticking left in this third quarter. Bombers faithful getting a little rowdy. Rooting, cheering on their team to stand strong defensively. As Union taking their time, setting something up, looking for a pass. Now it's Kip with it. Shot, saved by Menard.
Huge save against Kip, who is such a consistent goal scorer. That was huge for Andrew Menard, one of his best of the game.
Menard's fourth save on the day. And the Bombers moving offensively. The shot. And that one's going to go. Jared Sedlock. First of the season. And the Bombers faithful get rowdy once again.
And it seems like Ithaca is pulling away from this game. It has really, really been a complete team effort for the Bombers.
Jared Sedlock, the senior, with his first goal of the season. And the Bombers extending their lead to 4 goals, in this game.
And Ithaca scored 3 goals in every period so far, and that's likely to stay that way as we are under 20 seconds. They've been remarkably consistent.
And Sedlock, the 8th goal scorer of the day for the Bombers, a perfect representation of how this offense runs. It's not one, it's not 2 men, as that's a shot that's going to run wide. It's a whole team effort. That's how this Ithaca offense runs. It runs through the team, as that will be the end of the third quarter. The Bombers, they lead it 9-5. We'll take a short break when we come back with the fourth quarter. Once again, Bombers lead 9-5. We'll be right back.
can't find this source though.
Welcome back to Higgins Stadium, where the Ithaca Bombers lead 9-5 on Max Raymond alongside Morgan Spriggs, and the Bombers pouring on the goals towards the end of that third quarter.
Yeah, exactly right. And Ithaca, with two other Liberty League games going on right now, St. Lawrence is playing Vassar and Clarkson's playing RPI. It is so critical for Ithaca to do well in the Liberty League. And it has really, really been a complete team effort, as we mentioned before. 8 different goal scorers. The only one with multiple, Ethan Adrid. Jared Sedlock just got his first of the year. And this crowd is all pumped up as we get ready for the final 15 minutes of regulation.
As we look at the Bombers and their season so far, it is starting to become apparent that in order to make the NCAA tournament, they're going to need the Liberty League to win the Liberty League, and the road to winning it continues today as they take on Union and look to close this game out as ball still loose. It was recovered by Ithaca after a massive scrum, but the Garnet Chargers are able to force it free, and they will set up for the first offensive possession of this fourth and final quarter that sees Ithaca leading by 4. So Union, a goal here in the opening 2 minutes of this quarter, crucial for their comeback. Although not a must-have, would be a massive benefactor for them. Setting it up, Bensley. He's going to drop the ball down to X, and the passing begins. Looking for a lane to dodge on the far side. Finds a lane, gets to the front, knocked away, but I believe he's going to be ruled in the crease. No shot. Bomber ball. That was Matt Blasey for Union, who drove to the net, but he stepped in the crease, so the shot doesn't count. The ball will be in the Bombers' possession, and it's Savory with it, who will set up. So Union, an opening opportunity gone to waste. And the Bombers.
Yeah, exactly right. A missed opportunity there for Union as they got the first possession to start off the fourth period. And now here comes Ithaca. They're looking to double up Union, trying to make it a 10-5 game that would really put it away, for lack of a better word.
While not the rain, the wind is picking up quite a bit, which could affect the trajectory and the ball movement as the Bombers continue to pass it around efficiently. And now they've settled into the passing-focused style of offense, something that we've seen a lot out of them this season, and their primarily used style of offense. As it's Drid with it, with 15 on the shot clock, gets it over to Rogers. Rogers down. That shot from Proctor's going to ring off the crossbar, so the shot clock will reset. A little bit of an awkward pass and a hard one to catch from Kyle Proctor, but he's able to secure it. Puts a great shot on net, but unfortunately for him, rings it off the crossbar. Bombers, though, closer to where the ball went out of play, and so they'll keep possession. And it'll be Kyle Proctor again with it down low at X. The screen set up by Rogers, but Proctor unable to benefit from it. Dumps it off to Adrid. Adrid looks for the lane. Gives it to Savory. Back to Adrid. Adrid shifts around, finds an opening, but unable to receive the pass. It's Colin Adams, wide open on the doorstep, unable to collect it, but Adrid able to recover the loose ground ball. And so the Bombers will keep possession. Back to Adrid, but he can't collect the pass. So a little bit of sloppy offense out of the Bombers on this possession. Something we haven't talked too much about, the ground ball game. A major aspect that the Bombers have been dominating, and a big factor as to why the Bombers have been winning this game is because of their ability to collect those ground balls. But Union's got it. It's Kip with the ball. He's going to wait for his teammates to pass over on the offensive side of the field. He gives it off to Bensley, back to Kip. We'll see what the Garnet Chargers have in store for this offensive possession. What play do they have drawn up for this moment? Down by 4, which is a little over 11 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. Bensley to Kip. Kip with it far side. Slides, shoots, that shot wide. but it's McAvoy down low to keep the possession in favor of the Gardner Chargers.
And Kip being on the field here is such a huge factor.
Bounce shot, save Menard. But a foul's going to be called on the Bombers, and so possession will be maintained by the Gardner Chargers.
Peter Kipp, one of the most consistent offensive performers. I would look to him to see if he can try and ignite a comeback here in the fourth quarter, as Popko has really not done much offensively.
Blasey with the ball, gets it to Kipp. Kipp over to Popko, but a great defensive effort there by the Bombers to crash. And now, here they come, the Bombers. Liam Lennon, the pass, a huge hit. But they're going to call a foul on that. Invigorates, a timeout is going to be called by the Bombers. And that invigorates the sideline. The Bombers and the head coach, seeing that the ball about to go away from their possession, wisely calls the timeout, and that way the Bombers can keep possession of the ball and have time to set up offensively. 10:29 remaining in this game. Bombers lead it 9-5.
The physicality of the Bombers have been on display. They really are a really tough team. The conditions weren't good early in the game. In warm-ups, the field has been slick. We've seen Popko fall a couple of times in front of it when trying to wrap around and score. And, with just over 10 minutes to go in this game, it seems like Ithaca has controlled it from the start. After the 1-1 tie, they have not trailed for the rest of the game so far. And if this holds up, this would be a huge win coming off 2 straight losses.
It would be a major win for the Bombers, and a crucial one, as they've got a really rough schedule ahead of them. Their next opponents, they'll be on the road heading to RIT. They'll be on the road heading to St. Lawrence, RIT, 3rd ranked in the nation. St. Lawrence, 16th ranked. And then they'll be on the road heading to rival at number 18th ranked SUNY Cortland. So a win today is a must for the Bombers, as they've got to right the ship and create some sort of momentum, because they have probably the roughest stretch you could possibly have ahead of them.
Yeah, exactly right. They have really tough opponents coming down the bend, with 2 more ranked teams, both on the road at Cortland and at number 3 RIT on Wednesday. That's their next game, actually, and this is a really good win if the Bombers can hold on here against a Union team. They're very good. They've received votes, but they're about to go on a 3-game road trip. So it's really crucial for the Bombers to hold on to this win and get a home victory.
Play resumed. It was Pastoria to Brady to Giannuzzi, back to Brady. Now Rogers has the ball, and he works it down to Lucas Proctor. Proctor going to take his time and back to Rogers. 40 seconds on the shot clock, so plenty of time for the Bombers, as Rogers is going to take his time in no rush. Ithaca, the 4-goal lead, and while it can evaporate quite quickly in a lacrosse game, still a substantial lead. Rogers back with the ball at X, having a little game of catch with Giannuzzi. Now Giannuzzi with it. He'll get it to Pastore. Pastore looking for a slip, a lane, ball knifed away. It's free, recovered by the Bombers. Back to Giannuzzi, who had a lane. 5, 4, 3, 2, not enough time. Rings off the post. And they're going to say it's a shot clock violation. It was Lucas Proctor who almost gets the shot off in time, but unfortunately about a half second or so too late, and so a shot clock violation and a Union Garnet Charger ball and possession. Taylor with it. Taylor fighting with Sedlock. He's going to slow things up. Dump it off to Kip. Kip's going to work it over to Blasey. That pass dropped by McAvoy. And so the Bombers will now have possession. Pressure of the moment might be getting to the Garnet Chargers as this game is prolonged. They've gotten quite sloppy, especially offensively. Through this game hasn't been the cleanest for the Chargers, but especially now as this game grows near and the end comes closer, this is when you really prove what kind of a team you are. This is when the true dogs come out. When everyone's tired, when everyone's ready to call it a day, the true players are the ones who shine and come to play late in games. There's a flag going to be thrown. Savory a shot. That one's going to go wide, but the Bombers will keep possession and now be a man up, as I believe that was Adams who wore that stick to the helmet.
Yeah, Cullen Adams taking that blow to the helmet. I saw that too. And Ithaca, their first man-up opportunity. They've already scored 9 goals even strength. If they can score a 10th here, break into double figures here on the man-up penalty, that would be so, so huge here. Just over 8 minutes to go. That could be the final blow to Union.
Junior defenseman Chris Weitzel called on the penalty, and he'll sit out for a minute. So the first man-up of the day comes here in the fourth quarter for the Bombers. Quick passes. Savory with it back to Rogers. And the penalty timer even with the shot clock. So 35 seconds now in both the man-up advantage for the Bombers and the shot clock. As the Bombers continue to move it around. It opens an opportunity for Rogers, but an even better save from Nick Lynch.
Lynch left his feet, leaped up into the air, and had the ball in his net. That is a great, great save for Lynch. Huge on that man-down disadvantage for Union. That's a big play, and now they take it away and try to set something up as the man-up advantage for Ithaca dies down.
6-5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And just like that, Union is killed off the disadvantage as save number 9 on the day from Nick Lynch. He's now at a .500 save percentage. Menard for the Bombers, 5 saves as well and a .500 save percentage. So each goalie doing a really good job in net. But it's been a matter of their teammates around them that has made the difference, as that shot is going to hit the outside of the net. And Menard's going to pick it up, and the Bombers will now have possession. So a great look from the Garnet Chargers, but that shot hitting the outside of the net, you got to hit the inside for it to be a goal,
yes,
and in this case, it is not.
Yeah, I think Lynch has really done an underrated job. I know he's given up 9 goals, but he's had to face 8 more shots on goal than Menard has. So he's faced a tougher task. Ithaca's been really, really strong in terms of putting opportunities onto the net, hoping one can get a bounce. They've had a couple of close calls. So I think moving forward for Union, I think they've gotten a really encouraging performance from their goaltender, despite the score. If you look closer, it's been a lot better. For
sure, and it's really been a solid, as Rogers' shot is going to go wide, does not hit Lynch, shot clock does not reset, and you cannot pass go and collect $200. But defensively for the Garnet Chargers, I believe they lead this game in blocked shots. So it's really just been the offense for Union that is lacking in the difference in this game. Or rather, actually, the physicality prowess of Ithaca's defense that has been the game changer. Rogers down at X. Still with it. In front, the quick tap shot from Giannuzzi does not go. Rogers recovers and is going to get pushed out of bounds right as the shot clock expired, so he did not try to really fight with it. Garnet Charger ball.
5.5 minutes to go. I think for the Bombers, they just got to keep doing what they're doing to hold on to this 4-goal lead. They've been really, really strong in forcing takeaways and preventing shots on net for Menard to save, which he's done a pretty good job on.
And for Union, look for a little bit of urgency out of them, as this clock's really starting to run down on their time to score goals running out. Great stick work and a good shot, but just a little wide. Union there to keep possession, and it'll be Walker Popko, the top offensive player for this Garnet Chargers team, who's been silent today. Seems like everyone on this field except for him has shown up to play as Popko seemingly still in the library reading his books. That ball, loose, free, recovered by the Bombers. It'll be Jace Dox with it. Dox looking for a lane, finds a way past Popko. As there's the flag for the offsides call on Mike Wall. And so now Ithaca going to slow things down as they've got the opportunity. Wall already called for the offsides, might as well stay offsides. It's not going to make the penalty any worse, so you might as well just stay and get in the play. But Ithaca now going to take their time as now they're just killing clock away.
Yeah, 4 minutes to go. At this point, Union needs to score 1 goal a minute. And if Ithaca can keep this ball, prevent takeaways, really drain down this shot clock, there's not much Union can do except try and force a turnover, and Ithaca's been pretty sound.
Shot that's going to get saved. However, it will still be Ithaca ball, and now it'll be Ithaca ball with a man up because of the flag. So Ithaca, a great job there, draining the clock, taking the time, and knowing that they don't have to score, and knowing that it would actually be better for them to not score now, because if they were to have scored, it would have nullified the flag, which would have put another goal. However, by not scoring, they now have the man up for 30 seconds, which gives them an easier time to kill those 30 seconds rather than having to play it out on even strength. As it's Adrid up top with the ball. Works it over to Pastore to Adrid. Ball working through Adrid. It's Proctor with a shot. That one, I believe, deflected. It was Lucas Proctor with the shot. And that shot was not deflected. It just went wide. The sidearm shot with the upward trajectory kept rising. Fortunately for Union, not into the net. Unfortunately for Ithaca, over the net. But they're able to keep possession as Union kills off their second disadvantage of the day. So Ithaca 0 for 2 on the man advantages, but quite frankly, doesn't exactly matter as it was a free 90 seconds to kill. And now, working shot, kick, save, and a beauty from Lynch. And Nick Lynch stands strong, but Ithaca maintains possession. And now Lynch out of his net, putting on pressure, trying to will on his teammates at the same time, knowing that they are running out of time. 2 minutes 35 remain in this game, and Ithaca, they still lead it by 4.
Union needs to be really aggressive defensively. They need to try and force turnovers. They need to try to do anything they can, and they're really trying. And at this point, they need to score 2 goals a minute, almost.
At this point, keep an eye on Lynch and see when and if he chooses to leave his crease to help apply that pressure to force a turnover. As we've reached a point now, 15 and ticking on the shot clock, where another goal from Ithaca could be the end of the game. But if you can force a turnover and get a goal, you maybe flip the tides, but a pass, Rogers scores! Tim Rogers calls game! What a goal! What a game for the Bombers. And Tim Rogers, that's his first of the day. 15 on the season. 9th different goal scorer for the Bombers, who now double up the Garnet Chargers. They lead it 10-5 with 1 minute and 56 remaining in this game.
Tim Rogers, he's had several opportunities earlier in the game to try and get on the board with his first tally, and this one seals it for Ithaca. Inside 2 minutes to go, Tim Rogers pretty much wins the game for Ithaca.
And the Union faithful, boy, are they energized right now after that goal. The group pictures are coming in full effect as the celebration slowly starting to begin for the Bombers. 1 minute 35, so not totally out of the woods, but a 5-goal deficit seemingly almost insurmountable with the amount of time remaining in this game, as Union nonetheless going to put on some pressure. That shot's going to go wide, recovered by the Bombers. Jace Dox has got it. He's going to work it around. 1 minute 17. And the Bombers they're going to have to at least get a shot. They cannot fully kill it here, but they can take their time and sit back.
Crowd is applauding and erupting. The bench is lively and all hyped up. This is a really strong win for Ithaca. They're going to go on the road for 3 games, 3 tough games. Ranked opponents galore for Ithaca, and going to 8-4 overall after 2 straight losses is huge.
Clock ticking down now as the Bombers doing a great job, and now seems like a timeout is called. So a timeout called. Ithaca leads 10-5, 39.7 remaining in this game, 36 on the shot clock. So Ithaca can run it down with this shot clock to 3 seconds remaining. But nonetheless, we've officially reached the point where this game is out of reach for Union. A 5-goal lead, 39 seconds, just not enough time.
Yeah, and if you look at the box score, Ithaca just completely spread out offensively with the goals. Adrid is the top goal scorer for Ithaca today with 2, and the following players have 1. Kyle Proctor, Kyle Savory, Jared Sedlock, Jack Giannuzzi, Tim Rogers, Graham Brady, Jack Pastore, and then Max Warren with the pole goal earlier in this contest.
Warren and Sedlock, the 2 first-time goals on the season. Both of them each getting their first goal of the season today. And what a day to get it in a get-back game. And the Bombers have certainly returned. As the timeout will come to conclusion. Again, 39.7 remaining, and the Ithaca faithful, boy, are they enjoying it. It may be cold, the rain has subsided, and the party is just getting started.
It's cold, it's rainy, it's windy, it's really freezing for early April. Not surprising for Ithaca. It can get cold even here in April, but it's a win for Ithaca and a win that they needed.
Adams with it, ball knocked out of his stick. So 34.8, and the Garnet Chargers have it. They're going to try to get one just for pride's sake. Crossing the midfield line. It's Taylor with it. Looking to try to get one more goal as the clock nearing an end. There's a shot, and that one's going to wide. 13.8 on the clock. Play resumes. It's McAvoy with it. Looking, searching, trying. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Start the party, Ithaca. You've got another win. The Bombers win 10-5, improving the record to 8-4, 2-1 versus conference opponents.
They never trailed this entire game, Max. They had this game in complete control from start to finish, and as they celebrate in the far corner, it's a really, really fun day for Ithaca men's lacrosse union with a great effort, great defensively, a lot of great things to take away, but not enough here this afternoon.
What a great day for the Bombers. Again, a team game, really played by the team. 9 different goal scorers. Sedlock and Warm getting their first goals of the season. And the Bombers, they take the win 10-5. For Morgan Spriggs, I'm Max Raymond saying so long for now. Stay tuned as we've got a post-game show. Farrell Hudson, Noah Abraham will be here. Again, for Morgan Spriggs, I'm Max Raymond saying so long. Bombers win 10-5 here on the Bombers Sports Network.
Welcome to the Bombers postgame. I am Noah Abraham here with Farrell Hudson, and what a game for Ithaca Bombers. It might have been a cold, rainy day, but the Bombers were hot for sure. Let's start off with some player of the games, though. Who's your player of the game, Farrell?
Yeah, Noah, we'll start right away with Graham Brady. What a game he had. He was firing from all angles. 5 shots for him being on goal, a goal and an assist for 2 points. That's exactly what you needed when you think of other key catalysts that can contribute besides a Kyle or a Lucas Proctor or besides a Kyle Savory. That's exactly what the Bombers needed. Speaking of Kyle Savory, that would be second in my book, too. He had another goal, 7 shots, 4 of them being on goal, 2 ground balls, 1. You could see the aggressive sense of urgency that Ithaca displayed throughout the course of this game, most notably in that third quarter. Coming out of halftime, you wanted to see them take that jump forward. Union had some high-pressure chances throughout a little bit of that first half, and you wanted Ithaca to stake their claim as the dominator in the game. They were able to do so and run away with a 10-5 victory.
Yeah, and I mean, both those players are absolutely dominant, but I'm going to go with Ethan Madrid, lead goal scorer for the game, 2 goals. He now has 10 goals on the season, finally entering double digits, and it's very impressive because he has one of the lowest shots on goal percentage on the whole entire team, so I'm going with him. But staying on the Bombers, what went right for them today?
Well, what went right for the Bombers, as I alluded to, was a little bit of the offensive urgency, but then it's good to see your usual suspects come through because we mentioned earlier on in the broadcast how we keep talking about the Proctor brothers because of the importance that they have being at the top of the scoring list for the Bombers, and in that second half, Kyle was able to score a goal. Lucas was adding 2 goals. I mean, if we're talking about a bad day for them and we're still talking about, 3 points between the 2 brothers and this is an off day, then you know that things are going really well. And what excited me most about the Bombers game was doing all the things that we mentioned pregame, winning the ground ball battle 30-23. In faceoffs, surprisingly, Chris Soule has been the best faceoff man throughout the course of the Liberty League this entire season. And today, Ithaca only won 7 of 19 faceoffs. I found that very interesting. You look on Union's end, a strong suit of the Garnet Chargers game was Luke Tranter. He was 8 for 9 on faceoffs and 3 ground balls. He was really fun to watch too. Nick Lynch was able to impressively keep them in the game, and I think that speaks more to the Ithaca offense because if Nick Lynch kept them in the game and he's got a much lower goals against average and save percentage than that of an Andrew Menard, and Ithaca's still winning a game by 5 goals, then you know for the most part that they're trending in the right direction. Already multiple conference victories this season as opposed to their one last year, and they're basically just getting started with the home stretch here of April.
Yeah, we really saw this offense step up in major ways because, like you said, the Proctor brothers weren't their usual selves today, and then Chris Soule wasn't as dominant with the faceoff. And then we really saw depth. We saw some guys score who haven't scored all season, and then throwing on the defensive side, they were very aggressive. This was one of Union's lowest scoring games of the whole entire season. They put up 10 goals against number 1 in the country in Tufts. But now looking at Union, what went wrong for the Garnet Chargers today?
You spoke about them being one of the highest scoring offenses in the country. Besides Peter Kipp and Archie McAvoy, there weren't many shots put on by anybody else. You talk about a whole team contribution. They have 8 scorers, with 9 points or more, which is a goal per game for them this year. And today they were held relatively quiet. Ithaca's defense was guarding the 12-meter fan incredibly well, not allowing Union to get over the line with those long passes offensively and create any sense of continuity. Morgan mentioned it a couple times on the broadcast that every time it felt like Union scored a goal, Ithaca responded back, or when Ithaca scored a goal, they made sure they built momentum right off of that and not allowing Union that sustained ozone pressure that Ithaca was able to put on so well today. So for Union, it came down to those fundamentals that we were talking about in terms of shots on goal. Ithaca was still able to outshoot them 21-10, 37-31 in the game total. So Union wasn't afraid to put shots on goal, or shots in total, but not many to find a lot of them on goal. There were a lot of sticks in the lane getting deflected. They had a couple crossbar opportunities as well on Andrew Menard. You saw them trying to go low all day on him, noticing that was a weak suit. Also saw that in the Vassar game a couple weeks ago too. So for the most part, Ithaca was able to attack the best parts of Union's game today. That's why they were able to emerge victorious by 5+ goals.
Yeah, Union just couldn't gain the momentum offensively. Now this extends their losing streak 2-3 games, 1-2 in conference. They look to get their first home win of the season against RPI next Saturday. But to end it off, what does this win mean for the Bombers?
Well, it's a formidable home victory to keep solid pace within the conference, Noah. This is going to be one of the toughest conferences advertised in all of college lacrosse at the Division III level. The Liberty League had 4 teams in the top 10 in the nation last year. Ithaca's faced a tough non-conference schedule. They already motored through that, began 7-2 in their first 9 games to start the season, 5-0 on their home turf. They were doing all the right things, winning those games, sometimes by double-digit victories too. And then here comes the onslaught of tougher competition. You like to see Ithaca handle a game like this this, where for the most part, Union, they might have some strong suits, but Ithaca overall in categories had Union beaten in most instances. Graham Brady, Lucas Proctor, both fantastic performances. Offense continued to heat up as the game rolled along. You like to see them build momentum. You never want to see a slow start. We've seen plenty of fast starts from Ithaca so far this year, too. A couple weeks ago, like you mentioned, with the Vassar, the Brockport game, the Hartwick game on home turf just a few weeks ago, they were able to score 8, 9, 10, 11 goals in the first half. And yeah, that's all well and good, but I think Ithaca prioritized and placed emphasis on where they needed to most today, was beginning with the roots of their defensive game, guarding the house in front of Andrew Menard, and with defense, Noah, they always say it's too cliche in sports, but it often leads to offense. And with it being a 6-3 lead at half, I think it was a great job by Ithaca to exhibit that shoot-first mentality. They fired from all angles to begin that third quarter. They noticed that Nick Lynch might have been getting a little bit comfortable with Union defense in goal, and they knew that they had to start peppering shots. That's what they did to make the Garnet Chargers uncomfortable, get them back on their heels, and then after that, they never allowed Union to get back into the game.
Yeah, it was a great performance for the Bombers today. They have 4 more conference games on the season, including number 3 ranked RIT this Wednesday. But that's going to do it for me and Farrell Hudson here. Thank you for joining the Bombers postgame.